I was really, really, really huge into Tomb Raider, and I remember my friend Chris and I would go online back when it was brand new, and we would try and find all these pictures of Lara Croft to print out and plaster all over our walls. And I stumbled across Laura Weller, who at the time was an official Lara Croft model, and I guess she, here's this grown woman dressed up as a video game character, and she was pretty spot on and quite an inspiration. I was like, I want to be just like her. And I guess that kind of inspired me to make a really awesome costume for Halloween that year. I think it was back in middle school. And I guess basically through trying to find like more photos of Laura Weller to study her costume, I found Chuck Bright's Lara Croft lookalike website, and it was that's how I actually found out what cosplay even was. So that kind of inspired me to keep going with it. So, the friendship, I think I've made a lot of lifelong friends through cosplay. I've had a lot of once in a lifetime opportunities that have happened to me because of cosplay. I was able to go to PAX East in 2015 with Megan Marie, who is a part of Crystal Dynamics, and actually hang out with her and my old friend Jen Croft. And I got to experience PAX East, which was pretty epic. It was like probably the most epic convention I've ever been to besides San Diego Comic-Con. But I also love the creativity, just the way that I'm able to express and recreate my favorite characters and really bring them to life. I think I really do love that aspect about cosplay. I don't know, the fact that I get to celebrate and embrace one of my absolute most favorite hobbies in the whole world with my husband, like that alone I cherish. That means so much to me. The fact that he's actually gotten into it and he's started cosplaying too, like I never ever pictured that in my life. I never thought I'd have that. But being able to just kind of like get in costume and like become that character, get lost in that character, and to be able to go out on a photo shoot or do a fan film and recreate scenes and everything. I don't know, it means the world to me. It truly does.
My favorite was a Celine shoot that she did from the Underworld. She really gets into Tomb Raider, so those ones are always fun, but there was just something about that Celine shoot. She nailed the character. It was just a fun, spontaneous shoot that we did, and the location that we were at was real crumbly, like something straight out of the movie, so it fit really well for it. And she just really got into that one. But Tomb Raider, those ones are always fun, but it's kind of, I don't want to say predictable in a bad way, but when I go out on those shoots, I know it's going to be a good shoot because she's going to nail it every time. So when she'll pull out a little bit more of an obscure character that she doesn't do all the time, I like stuff. So.
There's so many. I've been cosplaying for so long. It's ridiculous. My favorite moments? Well, for one, I remember I was really good friends with this girl named Jen. She lived in Virginia, and we were super big into Silent Hill. And right down the road from her was actually an abandoned town. It was insane. Like, they had a hospital, they had a police station, they had like some kind of like factory. And I just remember we got into costume and we went to this abandoned town, and we just, in our minds, we pretended it was Silent Hill, and we were running around in the hospital after we didn't break into it. It was actually open. Like, there was the hole in the window that had been broken in. I swear it was like a movie. She put her arm through and unlocked it, and then we went in, and it was just like, this is so much fun. Oh my god, it was epic. PAX East was definitely another one, just because I got to see one of my old friends again, Jen Croft. I hadn't seen her since 2003, I think. And I got to meet Megan Marie. She's the senior community manager, of Crystal Dynamics. So it was pretty sweet. That was really, really, really heartbreaking. I, it's so materialistic, but at the same time, um, it was hard. It was hard. It was heartbreaking because I just remember we had gone on a family vacation, and we came home, and the first thing we noticed, the door was wide open, and we're like, all right, something's not right. So I immediately went in my room, and I saw that my entire airsoft gun collection had been stolen. And I mean, I had probably like 30 airsoft guns, and a lot of them were from competition, like Lara Croft lookalike competitions that I had won. So, I mean, they were Desert Eagles, Uzis, shotguns, and it was really sad. I actually stopped cosplaying for a while after that happened because I don't know, it was a bad time for me in my life, and I just kind of thought I don't know why, for some reason, I was also really young. I thought that I wouldn't really be able to cosplay again because maybe I was afraid to start collecting all that. I, I don't know. But yeah, that was a hard time. Oh God, yes. Absolutely, all the time. And I've noticed as I've gotten older, it's gotten a lot worse. When I was younger, I was more childish, and I could get in a costume and kind of like make believe or make pretend, where it's like, all right, I'm gonna get together with my friends and we're gonna go on an adventure and go play. And now that I'm a mother, and now that I'm a wife and I've got responsibilities, I work a 9 to 5 job. It's like trying to step back into costume and really get into character and that mind frame. It's hard sometimes to just like set aside all of the adult stuff, and then when I'm in costume, it's like I think everybody's looking at me, like everybody's judging me. So yeah, I definitely get self-conscious, but my husband is really, really good at helping me kind of overcome that. So he's an awesome guy.
A lot of the character stuff she does herself, like when she's going to get ready, she'll actually go off and, go into a different room and do some acting or whatever it is that she does to get herself into character. And then when we get out onto scene and stuff, a lot of times it's games I've played or movies I've seen and stuff, so I'll reference stuff from the game, stuff from the movie, and kind of push that on her, and try and get her into poses that I've seen from the game or the movie. So give her that direction, let her go a little bit, but it's mostly her for the character stuff. Mine is I kind of approach it with the technical stuff, so I want the poses, I want the movement, and go at it that route. So find the in between.
Yeah, I think the positive experiences have definitely outweighed the negative, and I've had a lot of help from my husband Shu, who has, through the many years that we've been together, like really helped me build up my confidence and really helped me get back into it. And my friend Sarah, who runs a Lara Croft lookalike site, laracroftcosplay.com, she's been an angel. She's really helped me get back into it as well. She was the one who initiated pretty much welcoming me back into the cosplay community with open arms, and I really do owe her a lot for doing that. So, oh gosh, no. I I've had people buy my prints. I've had people ask me to autograph said prints, and I've been in quite a few books and all that, but I've never really gotten paid for it, and I don't know if like professional cosplay, I don't know, like those two words together just kind of sound funny to me. Like you're dressing up in a costume. I don't know. I would like to be a professional cosplayer. I would so love to get paid to go to conventions and rock a costume and promote a game or something, but I don't think I'm a professional cosplay yet, no.
She kind of jumped on the idea of me with the photography. She really pushed me to get into digital, so that really I can credit her for. because before that it was primarily, like I said, analog film, but she wanted to have the stuff right away, be able to see, and pushed me to take the photography a little bit more serious. So we started with the cosplay stuff, and she prefers to be in character as opposed to just doing regular modeling, so it was kind of her idea.
I think it was a little bit of both. I I've obviously been into cosplay my whole life, but then Shu came along and he's been into photography his whole life, and it just kind of like merged, and I think I'm trying to remember whose initial idea it was to even start doing that. I think I might have pushed him a little bit. Be like, "Hey babe, if I get in this ridiculous costume, do you mind if we go on this location and take a couple of photos?" And he's like, sure." So, I'm totally on board for it.
It was kind of a mix of both. I've done photography and stuff for a long time. I've always been into analog. So I shot that way for a long time, and when we got together, that's actually how we met, was over talking about photography. I was going to have her model for me. And it kind of blossomed from there. Didn't even know about a lot of the cosplay stuff until after. But, it branched off from there, started doing some of the shoots with the cosplay stuff, and it kind of drew me into it. I've always been more of like a scenery and animals type of photographer, as opposed to people, and she kind of changed it a little bit on me.
I would say do it because a lot of people at first, when you're first starting out, it can be hard if you're not a professional seamstress, or if you don't have a lot of like money and stuff. It's an expensive hobby, and I say just use your imagination and always have fun. Always have fun. Don't take it too seriously, because then it's just, what's the point, you know? But back when I started, there was nothing. No websites or anything. Nowadays, there are so many websites that you can go to. You just type in Google or go on YouTube, and you can find all of these great tutorials and how-tos, and Etsy is also another great place. A lot of people, like my friend Sarah, they do a lot of like custom costume design and stuff. They'll help make costumes and everything for them, so...
God, for photography, my biggest one is don't ever let anybody tell you you're not good. I hate when people do that, or they think that they're limited. You don't need a big expensive camera. I've seen people take point and shoot cameras and come out with some of the most brilliant photography I've ever seen. Don't rely on your tools. Don't think that that's what makes you what you are. It's your eye, your practice. Get out there and just get the work done. Equipment and stuff can make things better, but it's all from you and your eye, so keep it there.
Oh gosh, I don't even know where to begin with that. The fan film that we've been working on for so many years now, it originally started with me, Shu, Sarah, her husband, and our friend Carla, and with our rinky-dink little Nikon D90 camera with no boom mic or anything. And we're just like, let's go out and do a blizzard in the middle of winter and hike miles into the forest carrying hundreds of pounds of equipment. That was a fail. And then I think like a year later, we finally all got back together and you hopped on board, and oh my goodness, that was chaos. That was pure chaos that week that Sarah was here.
Oh.
But oh my gosh, I remember Ethan. Ethan was cutting gauze or bandage or something with the machete. I was like, "Oh, that looks sharp." And he's like, "Yeah, this thing's really sharp." And then we did another fight scene and then came back later, and I don't remember if it was Shu or maybe it was you. I don't remember, but somebody had the idea to do the scene where Sarah comes down with the machete and I'm supposed to block it, and the first take went great. However, the second take, not so great. I just remember Sarah came down with the machete and I didn't hear it hit the axe that I was blocking with. And all of a sudden, I just remember like instant like panic. And I don't even know why, because I never felt anything at first. And I just remember collapsing to the ground and everyone shouting, "Oh my God, Anne, are you okay?" And I was like, I'm fine, I'm fine. And I looked down and there's a pool of blood at my knees. And I remember Ethan coming, like, running back. And it just kind of, like, goes in and out from there. I just remember that I looked down and saw that my finger was just almost gone. It was like, what's going on? And then I think I went into full-blown shock at that point, because I don't actually remember the walk back. I just remember walking with my hand over my head, trying to comfort Sarah and be like, no, no, really, it's fine, I'm not dead, like, my finger's fine. And then getting back home, and Ethan got that giant bowl of ice cream for me to try and help somehow. And we went back, we watched the footage, and we just hung out for a little bit longer. And then I think that happened around 5 o'clock, I think. And then 9:30 is when Shu went to go check my bandages, because I was still bleeding through all of the gauze. And he opened it up and, like, just tapped my thumbnail the wrong way, and I let out this horrid scream and screech, and that's when we finally decided at 9:30 at night that I needed to go to the emergency room. And we waited in the waiting room for about 2 hours before they finally took me in. And I just remember we finally got in, and then the surgeon, when he unbandaged me, he's like, they had you wait for 2 hours in the waiting room? I was like, yeah, I'm happy I didn't, like, bleed to death. That was horrible. And so he, what is it, Novocaine, I guess it is. He went to go numb my finger, and he poked me with the needle 4 times and then pinched the open wound, and I felt everything. So he numbed me again 4 more times. So by the 8th time, I just passed out on the table. Like, I guess my body just couldn't handle it anymore. I passed out, and then I woke up, and Shu told me that I think I had to have 8 stitches to put my finger back together. And then went home that night. Sarah was a mess. I was a mess. Shu was a mess. I think we took a day to recover, and then we went right back to filming. So that's why, if you see in the fan film, I've got, like, bandages all over my hand. It's not just from... like, it's not fake, and part of the costume that's like legit. I cut my finger off because I'm an idiot. Should have used a fake machete. Totally should have used a fake machete. Say thank you. I don't even know.
Yeah. Mistakes happen.
Yeah. Ta-da! And now I have a really cool scar. It kind of looks like the Volt logo from Borderlands, so I'm okay with it. Looks like an upside down Volt Hunter logo. But yeah, it's all good. So, thinking back now, when I first started cosplaying, I remember I'd buy my Sailor Mars costume from eBay, and that was pretty expensive. I think it was like $70. Cosplay is an expensive hobby, that's for sure. I think my New Rocks alone for my Lara Croft cosplay cost like $230. Yeah. But that was a Christmas present from my parents, so I was okay with it. My latex top was $75, maybe $100. Yeah. Back when I didn't have kids. Yay! I had money. Oh, man. It definitely makes it very, very, very complicated. You need a very, very strong support system. I think you need family members that are going to help out and babysit. Sometimes, like my costume, on any given day, if I didn't have a kid, I probably could have finished that probably in a month. It's literally taken me 2.5, probably almost 3 years now to even get where I am with it, and I'm not even done with that just yet. So patience is definitely a virtue, for sure. I recommend attempting it, but it is very difficult. It's very, very difficult, very hard. I'm just so grateful and so thankful that I have Shu, my husband, who is very supportive. You know, he'll be like, all right, babe, I'll go watch our kid. You go off in the other room, go work on your costume, or, You know, like those are my little sanity breaks. I get to go for like an hour, maybe a half hour, and just work on a costume and hope and pray it comes out all right. And I have to budget too, because it's such an expensive hobby. I have to kind of like cut corners and recycle a lot of stuff and hope that I get it right on the first time, because I probably won't be able to afford it the second or third time. So, but yeah, go for it. Try it. Why not? Try it. Involve your kid. It can be fun when they behave.